Alive, but now I got life stable. Lord, let your will be done. I'll hold it down till kingdom come. True. And I never want to let you down. You gave me two and I asked for one. Life was hard when I didn't know you, so I didn't know me and I didn't know love. So when I had this pain in my heart, I was outside still trying to shoot that gun. Think about times when I didn't have Christ, lost in the dark, and you gave me light. God told me to shut my eyes and I walk by faith and not by sight. See, I never knew life was like this. See, I never knew someone cared. And when I saw that you died for me, I decided to live for you right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Rico back at it again. Tuesday night edition of the Rico Report, brought to you by you know who, the Buffalo Fanatics. Folks, all right, man, game time done. Broncos in the books. We on to the Ravens, man. It's Ravens week. What a game that's going to be. And the chatter has already begun. The chatter has already begun all over social media. It's already begun all over Twitter. Ravens yapping this and Bills yapping that. Reporters saying this, and we trying to get in our feelings quick so we can have something. Something to fight about, bro. This game is the game. I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna stand on it a little bit more. I feel as though whoever wins this upcoming game goes to the championship. I really do feel that. I feel that this is we got to get it done. We got to get over the hump. And the crazy thing is, it's 3 games, baby. We got to get this one. We got to get the next one. We got to get to the Super Bowl. It's 3 games. But it feels as though this might be that's the game everybody's going to be watching. But I can't sit here and talk to you about this game all by my lonesome. Y'all know my homie is going to come through and chat it up with me. Y'all know who it is. I don't think I have to give him a grand old introduction, but he does deserve one. So I'm gonna give him the same way I came in with an intro. So I'm gonna give him some too. I want to see if he'll bop to it. I hope he does. Let me see. Let me see if he bops a little bit. Let me see. You got a little something for me?
You left the 99, now I'm the one that's by your side. Hey. Lord, please let your will be done. You saved my soul and gave me life.
Sing to the Lord, lift his name. Lord, let your
Shout out to my guy, Yo, was that the Syracuse sway? I was a Syracuse sway like that.
Some calm, you know.
So calm. What up, B? What's happening, man? What's the word? What's happening? How you been? It's been a minute. It feels like that. What's shaking, man?
Man, I've been good, man. It's cold. For those who don't know, I'm in Buffalo, and it's cold over here, man. I ain't gonna lie. I know I've been in the North my whole life or whatever, but you never get used to this, man. Shout out to Richie Rich for sure. Mad respect for that, but. Yeah, man, it's been cold, but, it's crunch time, playoff season, and we've been working towards this for sure.
We have been working all this. And, yo, people with you, man. It's cold as F out there. I'm out here in Nova Scotia, so I'm surrounded by the ocean. So the cold that we get out here, it's like the cold that hits your bones. Like, it's dense cold. So it's not brick cold like it is when I was in Ottawa. Ottawa is cold, but if you layer it up, you can fight through it. This one's different. You can wear a hoodie and something over top because it's not crazy, but it's that cold that gets to you in the bones, man. So, but I feel you. Ain't nobody trying to be in the cold, man. But you know who is going to be in the cold? These boys, these Bills, going to be facing the Ravens. This Sunday, 6:30 in the evening. It's going to be brick cold at that time. But before we get into that big time matchup, we got to get into the matchup that was, right? And it's easy for Bills fans to scoff over the Denver Broncos now that the game is over and done with. It's easy for us to scoff over it. Why? Because it's the Denver Broncos. They went 10-7. They have a rookie quarterback, right? All the things that, we should have been admitting to that, this is going to be a blowout. That's why Vegas had it at -8.5. But, some of the people in there were like, yo, we might see an upset. These Broncos are hot. They beat the Z team from the Chiefs 38-0. They started doing this and that. And Bo Nix. He's contention for Rookie of the Year, all that stuff. And now that the Bills put it on them the way they're supposed to, yeah, but those were the Broncos. The Broncos, I don't want to hear it. That was a good team. 63 sacks, big-time defense. Pat Surtain holding it down on one side. They had a good team. They got a good-ass head coach. So I don't want to hear it. That was a good win. I prefer the win that the Bills had over the Broncos than what the Ravens had over the Steelers. So I asked my man, Carl Jones, are we scoffing over that Broncos win? Was it something that the Broncos, you're supposed to? or was that a legitimate win? That's a tough win. And it gives them a little something to take into the Ravens game. What say you?
I mean, it's a playoff win. So, I mean, regardless of who's on the other side, you're advancing on to the next round. But in terms of the opponent that it was, the Broncos, my bad, my dog barking in the background. It's not
All good. We good.
That time of night where he get a little excited. Y'all all know who got pets. But the Broncos had a good defense, and the fact that they were able to move the ball in the manner that they were able to shows a lot about the offensive side of the ball. And whatever you think about Bo Nix and yay or nay, and Sean Payton, yay or nay, the manner in what they handle them is always a good, if not just like internally, a good confidence boost going on to the next week. I thought the Broncos didn't play well, like aside of anything that Buffalo did, whether it was the drops, Bo Nix looking skittish, but that's not the Bills' fault. It's survive in advance this time of year. And if you're a Bills fan, you should be excited on how they played, because they did what they were supposed to do.
Absolutely, they did what they're supposed to do. Speaking of doing what they're supposed to do, so did the Ravens. The Ravens took down the Pittsburgh Steelers. And although the score being 28-14, it didn't feel that way. I felt like they let the Steelers remain in the game. So it could have been worse. But that's what Ravens tend to do. They tend to leave teams in the game a tad to make it a game, right? They did that with the Raiders. They did that with their loss to the Browns. And eventually it turned up into losses. But that's neither here nor there, because that's in the past. We're right now where both teams seem to be getting healthy. Both teams seem to have made some major changes in their ways. But this is more about what the Bills did versus the Broncos. So let's get into it. I already talked on it, but I'd like to get my man Carl Jones's thoughts on what he liked in that last game that we had against these Broncos. So what did you like? What did you love in that last matchup with the Bills and Broncos?
I'll start on offense. I think there were two things that stuck out. One, the diversity of the Bills' running game. I mean, they kind of like Joe Brady went in his tool belt and played all of his greatest hits, whether it was not to get too complicated for those at home, but you saw pulling guards and pulling tackles, and then Josh Allen going on the perimeter. You saw James Cook with tosses and normal duos and zones and all that, and traps and all that type of stuff. I think as a defensive player, when I take it back to my playing days, it's difficult to when you got to kind of major in 5-6 different schemes to kind of make some stuff shake. Right. So the fact that they were able to do so, the Broncos were an okay running game, but regardless, they were an NFL team, and the fact that they toyed with them in that regard, encouraging. And then also, I really like the way that Joe Brady used motion and shifts and using his players in that manner, because man for man, they weren't going to beat the Denver Broncos in terms of just saying, hey, Keon Coleman, you line up on the line of scrimmage and go win. Hey, Curtis Samuel, pass your hands right across from you, go run a slant and win. They just weren't going to do that. The Broncos had a better, at least, cornerback and nickel room. But in the manner that Joe Brady used motion, you saw it on the Curtis Samuel touchdown, where just a quick little motion from Mac Hollins gets Curtis Samuel gets Patrick Surtain outside leverage of Curtis Samuel. Boom, touchdown, strike up the band. So I do want to give Joe Brady his flowers and kudos for the game plan that he put together to take down the Broncos last Sunday.
I like him, man. And if you're looking at, there's certain things I wanted to touch on, because last stream I had obviously it was the reaction to the game right after. So when you have a chance to look at the highlights again and watch some things, I really liked that Josh didn't push anything. And it shows the maturity. It shows that he's a vet. He's a true vet in the game now. 7 years in, almost 8 years in. So it just, he let the game come to him. That was a quiet 20 for 26, 270, almost 300 yards. It felt like a Tom Brady-ish game. There are games where Tom Brady will just dink and dunk, take what the defense gives him. By the end of the game, he's got 330 yards. You're like, what? Where'd that come from? That's the type of game it felt for me with Josh. Josh was cool, calm, collected. I love what I was able to see from my man. So keep up the good work. Loved it. Slide over to the defensive side of the ball for what you liked, for, I guess, what Babbage and McDermott did. Anything that stood out to you in that regard?
They weren't on the field a lot, only 42 snaps, and probably 28 of those were, I don't want to call them meaningful because every snap is meaningful, but high leverage snaps. They just didn't have a lot of snaps out there. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah, right.
But I like the way that Terrell Bernard played, especially when you look at the one play we thought was a PBU live where he kind of turned his back and made the play on Cortland Sutton where he dropped it. That was a really nice instinctive play by a middle linebacker. Then also he had a tackle for loss on a screenplay. He blew it up, read it like a book. So I felt as if he played really fast, and you saw what makes him a really good linebacker on display on Sunday. The battle with Cortland Sutton and Christian Benford was really good. Like I was looking forward to that all week. Kind of two guys who, you know, are bigger at their position. Cortland Sutton is like, I believe, 6'3". Christian Benford is 6 foot 6'1", but really is long and is a big dude. Yep. Seeing both of those dudes kind of lean on both of their strengths and have some wins and losses, that was really dope. So, because I don't know how many receivers in the AFC that the Bills would see better than Cortland Sutton if they were making to a Super Bowl. So that was what I liked defensively. I saw some of the pressure numbers. I tweeted one of them out that the Bills pressured Bo Nix on 14 of his 27 dropbacks.
Yep.
Not to like rain on all of that, but a lot of that was half of those pressures came in the fourth quarter, which I'm not like saying like, hey, you're not supposed to get after the quarterback when you're down 24. But when the game was in the balance, it was kind of like a more of a Broncos win in terms of pass protection. So once again, Bobby Babbitt had a good game plan as well. The Broncos looked like a team that was a 7 seed. I would say in some of the stuff that they were doing.
Okay.
But I mean, like I said, to pop things off, it's the playoffs, survive in advance, and they did what they were supposed to do.
They did what they were supposed to do. So do you give, although it's a playoff win, when you look at what the Ravens did to the Steelers, do you give the Bills credit for this win? When I say credit, like the way the media built this thing up, like, yo, watch out, because these Broncos, that defense, that's a good defense. That's a top 10 defense. So can their credit be given to the Bills for this win and say, yo, that was still a tough game? Take that, what you learned, and take that into, or was this one of those games where it's like, bro, you were supposed to wax these guys. You didn't really learn much. Now you're about to play a real game.
I mean, you can look at it both ways because Vegas had it as I believe the second highest line of the week. So like,
true.
Maybe us on the outside didn't think it would be, maybe thought it'd be competitive, but like the people who bet money on this clearly did not feel as if that would be the case.
Yep.
I mean, I believe it was the second highest spread only to the Ravens and Steelers, which I believe was 9.5. This game was 8.5. Having said all of that, I am a big believer in that any playoff win or any win outside of the regular season is massive. For just this reason alone is a good confidence booster. And I think going into a Ravens game where, hey, it's going to be a dogfight, backyard street brawl, the Broncos can't run the ball for nothing anyways. But
True.
in your mind, if you feel as if you stop the Broncos, it helps you going forward in terms of the running game for sure.
In a way, see, you're right. Their run game ain't worth a damn. It's not worth a damn. I'll be real. And I like Javonte Williams. I was a big fan of him coming out of college. That injury he hasn't been the same since that injury. Let's just keep it a buck. But a big back like that kind of prepares you for the big back we're about to get in Derrick Henry. But that guy's just a different dude. He's a different dude. So we go get into that in just a moment. I just want to put a button in this Broncos matchup. So we talked about what you loved defensively. We talked about what you loved offensively. What you got on what you hated. And there's not a whole lot to hate, but is there anything that sat there and we're like, man, I didn't like it. I hated this. Talk to me.
I mean, the one obvious one is the deep ball that they gave up on the first drive of the game. I don't like that.
Was that on Rasul? I couldn't tell if that was on Rasul because I think it was quarters. It was a cover 3 at least, but quarters, I think. That's you got deepest man. Is it on Taylor Rapp? Was it on Rasul?
Without giving up too much and all that type of jazz.
Oh, I bet.
And cover 4, you can play it a lot of different ways in terms of the corner versus the safety. Without saying what they said, from my initial reaction,
all right,
and cover 4 is essentially man coverage,
right?
Which is receiver has outside guy, safety has the inside guy. But if the inside guy doesn't come vertical, then it becomes safety gets deepest of the deep. And in that position, in that play, number 2 didn't come vertical. He went out at like 7 yards. Therefore, safety should have been deep. That's all I'm going to say on that because I'm not trying to get nobody in trouble. But for those who maybe have saw it like that, probably a little bit of both where, hey, Rasul, you should have been on top of it a little bit more. And then Rap,
right.
your guy did go out. There's no reason to trap that. Let's get out of there.
Yeah, and that's what it felt like because I'm watching. I was like, oh, he essentially split him. Split him.
That's
took
exactly
a little skinny, and that was it. So you're like, is that or is that this? And I love when defenders, and they didn't do it this time, but I've seen it before where somebody gets Stephon Gilmore used to do it all the time when he was in Buffalo, where he get beat and then look back to like, I love when DBs do that. DBs get beaten, they're looking around to see who they get.
No, because you gotta think about it though. Like the whole world watching us. Best believe I'm gonna blame this on somebody else because that camera is on me, and people at home not gonna think it's my fault. Hell no, you gotta think like that.
The crazy thing is, there's cameras everywhere. Yo, if I don't get you in high def here, I'm gonna get you in high def here. If I don't get you in high def here, I'm gonna definitely get you in 4K here.
Yeah.
Yo, you can't sit here and point. We know, and the game is getting so much smarter these days, bro. You got Tony Romo breaking it back down again. Like, you know, he's going to break it down. This is what this should have happened. Yeah. And this guy wasn't here, bro. We going to know. But anyway, I digress. I had to get in there because that was something I hated too, especially like 4 minutes in the game. Right off the bat, I was like, I don't like that. But that definitely stood out. Let me jump in on this for what I hated because I think we can all agree on this. Going into the red zone, that's your money. And the fact that the Bills went 1 for 5 in the red zone, that didn't sit well with a lot of Bills fans, myself included. Like, when you get in the money zone, you got to take advantage. Now, granted, the Broncos were one of the best teams defending in the red zone. So one of the best in the game. Like, you got a very good pass rush. And Zach Allen, that boy is a dog. That boy is an absolute dog. But anyway, when you have that, it is tough. But when you have Josh Allen back there, you got James Cook, you should be able to cash in. 1 out of 5 is just not going to cut it. So I would love to see them execute at a higher rate, especially going up against a team that will not forgive you. If you don't cash in, they will put some on you. So if you get an opportunity to get in that red zone, you got to cash in. That's the way I looked at it. So that's one thing I can sit there and say, I didn't like that too much. Anything else stand out for you, or you're kind of straight?
Nah, I mean, it would be nitpicky stuff that's not worth really putting it in the hate category. So
I got you.
Obviously, a whole lot more good than bad this week.
1,000%. So let's put a button in this, and Cody Benz was saying, "Yo, Rico's got a whole book of dad jokes." I don't know what he's talking about, but I do have a couple. But let me say this. Let me land this plane right quick. That's what old dad said. Let me land this plane real quick. Let me get out of this and put a button in this. 31-7, right? 31 unanswered points. We just put it on the back to back to back. The fact that we went 1 for 5 in the red zone and we still put up 31 points. You gotta love what you saw from these Bills. And good effort by the Broncos, man. They came out and made it. They made it a game. It was 10-7 at half, give or take. I think it was 10-7 at half. So y'all made it. Y'all made it a game, and the Bills made some second half adjustments like we always do, and we handled business. So Bills move on. Broncos go home. They got themselves a good quarterback in Bo Nix. You build around Bo Nix. You get that team a run game, like an electric running back that can move around and create some space. Denver's going to give the Chiefs a problem. They're going to give the Chiefs a problem. So that AFC West is going to be something. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to what really, truly does matter. And it's Broncos week. It's really that simple. There's nothing else to be spoken about. It's Broncos week. So this is where I bring in my guy, Carl Jones, to help me out here. First things first. All right. I gotta write this down because it's a problem. It's a problem. All right. And I'm not gonna say stop. Right? I'm gonna say slow him down. Slow him down. And I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I do.
How do we do it, man? How do we do it? How do the Bills slow Derrick Henry down? This guy, he's defined the odds of the running back, and I love that he's doing it. This whole running backs, when they hit 30, you're washed. You're done. They even try to disrespect the running back position by saying, hey, 27, 28, you're washed. Bro, 30, okay, we get it. 30, but don't try to diminish the position. Derrick Henry at 30 is looking like he's 25. And it feels like a damn cheat code with having him and Lamar in the backfield. What the heck? How do you do? I don't know, man. And the thing is, I'm glad you're here because you're a defender. You play ball. You get it. And you know what I mean? You had to sneak in there and get in there when you had. I mean, you played against the man. You played against Lamar Jackson. So you need to talk to me, man. What did y'all do?
Hold on. What do we do against Lamar? Listen, no disrespect to my teammates and my coaching staff. We ain't do nothing. We didn't do nothing. I played that brother twice, and both times we was on the Sports Center highlight for the wrong reasons. He was fascinating. I mean, I tell people this story all the time where I have never felt less of an athlete than when I played him as a football player, because he's the best athlete on the field. And I'm not saying that because, like, oh my gosh, he's a good quarterback. He is the best athlete on the field, and I am not exaggerating that. It is not close. He is faster and more. Put it like this: he is a more agile athlete than every single position on the field. And although I played him even though when I played him in 2016 and 2017, and he was probably more athletic then, more explosive then, he maybe has taken a 5% step back in that regard, and obviously become a much better quarterback, drop back passer. I think the first way that you try to slow down this specific style of offense is up front. You're going to need your defensive tackles to take on 2 blocks and do it in a manner that doesn't get them pushed 5 yards down the field. You're going to need them to penetrate when need so and shoot some gaps. Your defensive ends are going to be next important in that as well. You know, Cassandra, I'm going to hate on you, though, because I'm from Ohio, and, like, you might be right, but, like, I don't want to hear that for real. Like,
yo, why Ohio got to be part of this, man? Florida, everyone knows Florida. That's where the athletes come from.
Okay, cool, but, like, Cassandra, if you show some love to Ohio, I won't be hating no more. But truthfully, though, when you try to slow out in this rushing attack, it all starts up front. Like 70% of it starts up front, because a lot of people will say, hey, linebacker this, safety's this, corner's this. It does not matter who you have at linebacker and at safety if your defensive tackles are in your lap, point blank, period. And I think that's the thing that when I think about when we played them, when you, like, for example, when you're linebackers, you say, oh, you got better safeties and linebackers who can read and diagnose the read option and pitch man and all that type of stuff. Right. How hard is it to read something when Ed Oliver is in your lap, or Daquan Jones is in your lap? It don't matter if you can read it or not. And I'm not singling them out and saying this is what's going to happen to them, but I'm just giving the image at home for, like, how important the guys up front are. And I know the game is won and lost in the trenches, but it's especially so this week because of how complex they do things. It's a very unique team that, like, quite frankly, no one else in the NFL runs it like this. And if they do run a variation of it, they don't have 2 Hall of Famers doing it. So 75% of this game is going to be on the backs of the 4 down linemen, and they're going to have to go out there and get you know, where they mouthpieces, you know, put their lunch heart. There we go, Cody. There we go. Let us see that. But it's going to be the 4 down linemen up front who are going to have to command this game, because basically the Ravens are going to drag this fight into the deep end and dare the Bills to see if they can swim.
All right, so you got Derrick. Listen, I'm gonna put you in a position right now. So
I'm not tackling him if that's what you asked.
You got no choice. You're not gonna. You got to stick your nose in it. Okay. You're not just gonna let your guys just die. You're gonna die with them, right? So let me. So you got. Where my football at?
I love my teammates, but I like my neck a little more.
No, I got my Josh Allen side football, right? So you know when Lamar has that, and I'm gonna try to show it as best I can, and he puts that ball in the belly of Derrick Henry, and he's watching. They're all watching. Yeah, and he's reading. Yo, as a defender, you're coming down. Like, how do you defend it, or how do you remember that coach would tell you, okay, if they do this, this is what we do.
Yeah.
I was always on the offensive side of the ball. So it was either like I'm getting it or, you know what I'm saying, quarterback is taking it. So I never really had to be on the defensive side to say, like, how do you stop it? So, like, what's the mentality normally on stopping that specific one where it's in the belly? Because I think that's the hardest one.
Correct. It's a lot of layers to that. I'm going to start and answer your question first. How do you slow that down? Worry about your job. Don't do someone else's. So if your job on that specific play is the quarterback player, you do not give a damn what happens to Derrick Henry. Your eyes are on Lamar Jackson. Obviously, that is much easier said than done. If it was that easy, everyone would slow it down. Because so that's the first issue. Pay attention to your keys. Point blank, period. However, say he does hand it off, and your key was just to have your eyes on Lamar Jackson, right? If the guy in front and next to you didn't win, it didn't matter anyways, because the guard and tackle combo blocked Daquan Jones up to Matt Milano. Matt Milano couldn't get free, and now he's 8 yards down the field, and good luck tackling him. So that's what makes it a little complex, is that you can be right, but you got all 11 got to be right. It's not just one, and I think that's what makes it. See, that's crazy. That's crazy because listen, he's right. Matt Milano is right. I'm quarterback player, and you still lost. But one way that you try to help it out a little bit, and much easier said than done, because I was never in that position. I was never that player, but I didn't want to be. You have
I'm watching this because I feel for Milano, because Milano's coming in and he's there, and then it's just an individual play. But like everyone's got, like you said, everybody's got to do their job.
Just do your job. Just do your. You have to close the space.
Oh, Lamar is so nasty.
You have to close the space. You don't. That's your best chance. Just close the space and then take a shot. Because that's the one thing that when you do play against these freakazoid athletes, there is no indecision. It's shoot and ask questions later. Like it's kind of like when those Western movies where it's just like, hey man, as soon as your hand go on the holster, I'm pulling and shooting, and I'm gonna ask questions later. That's kind of how it is when you play these guys, especially in space. In a position where you got Lamar Jackson in space, don't break down. There is no like break down, heads up. No. It's shoot.
It's shoot, and you just got to go.
And you got to go.
There's too much.
Listen, and once again, it is much easier said than done.
I know. Trust me,
because I have been in Matt Milano's shoes where I have been the dude where my face is on the turf and they running 15 yards down the field.
So, and here's the thing I'll speak as an offensive player. As an offense player. So I've already made my mind up. If if I'm holding onto the ball, I'm going to go outside. I'm gonna make outside. So I need to bait you to go inside. And Lamar knew he was going outside.
Correct.
Because you're not gonna follow. The running back at the time, I don't know who that is. I can't tell. I think it's Gus Edwards there. I can't tell. But anyway, you're not gonna follow the same where Gus Edwards went. So you're gonna go outside. So as a defender, I want to still keep you inside where all my boys are. So, and like I said, like you said, easier said than done.
Much easier. But the thing is, though, when you play against these teams and this style, all 11 have to be right. Every single last one of them. Because I think the play and I think the play that kind of speaks to that is Derrick Henry's long touchdown run against the Steelers last week, to where 3 players accounted for Lamar Jackson. 3. I believe it was the inside linebacker, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and then the outside, and then the defensive end on that side. All 3 scraped to Lamar, and because of that, it's a fat scene for Derrick Henry down the field. If just one of those players did their job and not attack 8, that is a 12-yard gain instead of a house call. So that's just like the particulars of this, of when you play against a team like this, where it's just, bro, focus on your 111, do your job, and just have the confidence that the man next to you will execute his 111 as well.
And that's the tough part when you're facing a guy like Derrick Henry, where and the thing is, like, and I don't want to sit here and I think this is the play here. I'm gonna make sure. Yes, it is. So I'm gonna play it right now because I'm curious to see what your thoughts are, and let me just run it back. So I think this is the play you're referring to.
Yes.
All right. So, and I'll try to slow it down if I can and keep the volume low. But like, this is the part that kills me, man. Like, in the belly still, and everybody's like, "Yo, what's going on?" What?
Correct. So the issue is Minkah Fitzpatrick, the guy at the top of the screen in the black sleeves, right there. The guy at the cornerback in front of him, and then that linebacker right in front of him. All 3 of them looked at the eye candy of Lamar Jackson. By the time they realized Derrick Henry had the ball, he is 5 yards down the field. It is too late.
Oh my gosh, right here, right there. Everyone's in line. So did Minka over pursue?
I'm sure they. I don't know without knowing the particulars of their defense.
For sure. Oh.
I do know that linebacker's correct because the Steelers are doing a technique here where it's kind of called scrape and fill, where basically that Highsmith, he's supposed to take away Derrick Henry. That's his job. Boom, force him to hand it off, force Lamar to keep it.
Right.
And then the linebacker comes over the top
of the screen.
Yes. So he's like, all right, boom, I'm crashing inside. Linebacker come over top to take away Lamar Jackson.
So
Lamar
Queen.
didn't care. He's right. It's Queen. Look at the linebacker next to him.
Right here.
No, here. Not that. No, the linebacker. Not that one.
Oh, right. Oh, Queen's right here.
Watch Patrick Kramer. He's the one that on the backside gets washed and is over with. So once again, if just one person does their job, it turns into an 8-yard play instead of a house call. But when you have 2 Hall of Fame players, that's the stress that you put on your defense. But I will say the Bills haven't had success against this style with 2 Hall of Fame players. But in terms of the specifics of this offense, they have had success in containing the style that the Ravens present.
I'm sick to my stomach trying to decipher what it is. I don't envy Babbage. I don't envy McDermott. I don't envy the defensive staff having to sit here and say, yo, we ain't leaving until we figure this shit out. Yo, call your wife. Yo, coffee's on the pot right now. Bro, we bunking in. We got to figure this ish out, right? So this is what it's come down to. So I always hear this thing, right? Correct me if I'm wrong with the saying. I don't know quite the saying. It's not always X's and Joe's, but Joe's and X's. It's pretty much saying
it's not all about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmys and Joes. Yeah,
the Jimmys and Joes. That's the one, right? So in this case, you had all regular season for it to be about the X and O's. Now it's up to the Jimmys and Joes to get the job done. Are you in that camp? Or is it also like it's in luck there because now there's a lot more that has to go into it. Everything is fine-tuned a lot more when you get late into the playoffs and you're competing for a championship here.
Coaching matters. It will always matter in every single sport, no matter where you are. Having said that, I'm a big believer in that great coaching lifts the floor of a team. If you want to look at that, look at the damn Pittsburgh Steelers. A good coach lifts the floor of a team. Look at Sean McDermott, the floor. Sean McVay, the floor. Andy Reid, the floor. Good coaching will always make sure that your team will be okay to good. Okay, as long as Sean McDermott is breathing, the Bills will not be 3-14, barring 17 different injuries to the wrong players. But players elevate the ceiling, and that's where the postseason comes into play. Because you got to think about it. Bobby Babbage has shown this year that he's a good defensive coordinator. Excuse me.
Right.
Tom Monken, on the other hand, he can bark too. Tom Monken, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, he's up for head coaching jobs as well. So he's good in his own right? If Bills fans, you obviously all know about Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs' great defensive coordinator. So like the edge that you have in coaching is finite. It's really finite. So who do you have out there to elevate and go beyond the scheme and go beyond the X's and O's? And that's what postseason ball tends to come down to.
So how do you feel about bulletin board material?
Oh, Lord. I got time for that one. Continue.
Bulletin board material. All right. And I'm not even going to go into the reporter, Jimmy John, whatever the dude his name is, talking about seed of losers. I'm not even worried about that. It's just a reporter. Yeah. He's no different than the Jerry Sullivan that everybody doesn't F with, or John Warrow that most people don't F with. It is what it is. I ain't going to put you in anything. That's just Bills fans, right? However, when players talk, I listen. All right. So today, Kyle Hamilton was chatting and he was like, yo, man, we just going to treat Josh like any other quarterback. We just going to play ball. And I get it. It's the cliche thing to say, but also, yo, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. You know what I mean? We're just going to treat him like any other quarterback. He ain't any other quarterback. So now you making it personal. So then this one hit me. Marlon Humphrey. All right. So I get Marlon Humphrey. Check this out. Whether true or not, okay? And it seems he was on radio, sports radio. I don't know if you guys can see my page. Did I share my page yet? No, I didn't even share it yet. All right, here it is. So Marlon Humphrey, let me see if I can zoom that in a little bit more. Boom, right here. Can you see that, bro? New Ravens quarterback Marlon Humphrey took to Sports Radio 105.7, The Fan, today, and had some pointed words for when speaking on the Buffalo Bills offense. And I quote, "I've seen their playbook, and it's more predictable than the weather in Buffalo." Golly. All right, Marlon. All right. He continues. He says, "Josh Allen might think he's Superman, but come Sunday, he going to be Clark Kent?" Yo, please let it be true that Marlon Humphrey talking that big ish. Please let it be true. Because now it's gonna be a fight. I'm trying not to listen to a lot of old school hip hop, but like I feel like going back to the ATL days back in the, you there a little bit. I mean, when those southern songs, man, throw some bows, like all them cats. But there's a specific song I have in mind that I want to play. When I hear stuff like that, it makes me want to play "Nuck If You Buck." Nuck, bro.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm gonna find that song. First of all, no, I can't because YouTube's always hating. But the point is this: I love it when these guys talk because now it's about to go down. So now you have to handle your business against Lamar Jackson and obviously my man Derrick Henry. But the thing that kills me the most is it's the defense that's talking ish. So defense is talking ish because they're gonna try to stop Josh Allen, all that stuff. But at the same time, saying Kyle Hamilton saying, "Yo, my man, he's just a regular ass quarterback." Okay, yo, we're gonna turn him into Clark Kent. I get it. It's just chat. But at the same time, if you're Josh, if you're James Cook, if you're Deion Dawkins, if you're the O-line, if you're Keon Coleman, bro, if you're the receiver room, y'all are all going to have to step up to make my man look like Superman and not Clark Kent. Because breaking glass, Josh is going to do it. But I go back to the chatter like this when you hear players talk like this. And I don't know if it's true or not. So it's saying, hold on, viewer, this isn't real quote. See, I knew it. That's why I always just make sure. I always make sure, right? It said it's a humorous imagination. See, all this AI stuff. I'm glad I didn't say it was a fact, but it still doesn't go away from people talking. Yeah. How do you feel about does it motivate? You think guys in the locker room are, man, bump all that, man. That shit don't mean nothing to me.
I'm not a big believer in bulletin board material for the postseason in any sport whatsoever, because the way I feel about it, brother, you playing for a championship, a Super Bowl. If you need any extra added motivation to go win that, you lost before you signed up. That's kind of how I feel with all of that stuff. Like, Keon Coleman shouldn't need to run a route any harder because of what Marlon Humphrey said. Your motivation should have been at a sky high because you wanted to be a Super Bowl champion. Like, I felt the same way when I was a player, when players would be like, man, we got Clemson this week. Let's lock in. Motherfucker, I was playing hard against Colgate too. Like, I didn't want to get embarrassed against them boys either. So like,
Colgate.
like no disrespect to any Colgate alums in here, but like I felt the same way. So like, especially in a sport like football where it's so dang violent and you can, God forbid, I'm knocking on wood, something can happen to you long term and things can change in your life and your trajectory. If it's 3rd and 6, I'm paying attention to my keys and my assignment and my down and distance and alignment. I'm not really concerned about what X, Y, and Z said pregame. Yeah. The only thing, and I think this is where bulletin board does come into situation a little bit, is during the week you may prep a little harder because you might have heard something. Like, you might have been like, you know what, I'm gonna really lock in on my key, or like, you know what, let's watch 10 more minutes of film. Let's watch 15 more minutes of film. You know what? Let's stay after practice a little bit longer and lock in a little in that regard. So you might want to, make sure you're on your top of your game in that regard. But when it's the second quarter, 2nd and 8, and you just ran for 7 yards, or you gave up a sack, brother, I hope you're not thinking about Twitter. I hope you're not thinking about Instagram or TikTok. Like, I hope you're paying attention to the play call you just got and executing your assignment. Like, and you know what? The offensive line, they play. But here's the thing, though. Music 808. The Bills' offensive line has played fantastic all year long. And you know what? After the game, both teams, and this is what's going to happen. The winner of this game, the winner is going to be in the locker room, and they're going to say some spicy quotes, as they should. So if the Bills were to win, Rasul Douglas, who can talk a little spicy, he might say something like, yeah, them boys was talking all that trash. Like, yeah, we got to get back, though. Like, yeah, they really want to like that. If the Ravens win, You know, Roquan Smith can talk a little spicy. K. Ham, Marlon Humphrey. So, like, after the game, they may say something. But if your piss not hot to go play a Super Bowl, brother,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to get it on my chest because it was something that happened. I saw something last week where someone said something about like, oh, Matthew Stafford got extra motivation because.
Hold on. You said you had something to say with your chest?
No, I said this. I've been waiting to get this point off my chest because.
Hold on. Well, hold that thought because I have something for you. Say it with your chest now. Let's go.
But it popped up into my mind because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Matthew Stafford, he's going to play harder because of the unfortunate stuff that happened in Los Angeles the past week." Respectfully, Matthew Stafford don't need to focus on that. Matthew Stafford, when it is third down in the first quarter and he sees 7 people on the line of scrimmage, you better not be thinking about the fires in Los Angeles. Like, so that's just been my mind, and I've been thinking about that. As a fan, as a media member, that is for us to bring in because that's what makes sports fun. That's what makes it energetic. Sure. That's what makes it great. But I pray to God that Khalil Shakir on 3rd and 3 is not thinking about some quote from a Ravens defensive back. After the play, talk your ish, but execute your assignment first.
He's on the line, just ready to go.
I heard what you said. I heard what you said on Twitter. I
should have retweeted it, but I did. Y'all, get out of here, man. I'm trying to play ball right now.
That's all I had to say. That is for you and me. All that stuff is for us to get hyped up about, build the game up, and be good fanatics and beacons of the sport. That's our job.
All right, I got something to get off my chest a little bit too, because the last couple years I've been and some that have been listening to me enough know that I've brought this topic up, and I may have brought it up with you as well. And I look at the Ravens squad, and I know for a fact there's a vocal cat that's an absolute dog. Roquan Smith is a dog. He's going to talk his ish. He'll get everybody riled up, and you know he's a dog. On the defensive side of the ball, who's your dog? Who's that pit bull on our defense? Because I'm looking around, and someone that's going to beat that chest and do all this. I don't know if Greg Rousseau is not that beat your chest and get on there. Baller, but he ain't a dog. Right? Smoot, nah. Daquan, not so much. Bernard, I'm looking around, and I'm Benford, maybe. Rasul, maybe. But in my front 7, where's my like that dude?
Right.
I don't know, man. Talk to me. Unless I'm missing something.
Right.
And or if we haven't seen it, I need to see it this come Sunday. I need to see, you know what I'm saying, like out the kennel, let's go. You know what I mean? I need to show you that I'm a dog here, but I don't want to see the soft passive, you know what I mean? Let me run to the camera, and cheese. No, I want that dog, man. Like, I'm not running to the camera. I get an interception, put the ball down, let's get to the sideline, let's go. How many you in my chat? Please tell me if you feel that we have any dogs on the squad, and and I hope that you emerge. Milano, he don't say a damn word. Now, I'm not needing him to say a word. Sometimes it's not about saying a word; it's about what you do on the field.
Correct.
But I know who the dogs are on that defense in Baltimore. Hamilton, dog.
Correct.
Roquan, dog. Matabuke, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I will say 47 is a pit bull. Like the Christian Benford.
And that's the one I was like, oh, hey, Benford? Okay, but I need someone to match Benford. But keep going.
Yeah, and Benford is a pit bull. Like if Benford was a linebacker, let's just take a minute to thank the football guys for not making Christian Benford 6'2", 240.
Oh man,
because Lord have mercy, what he would do. Taron Johnson is 100% a dog, and maybe not manifest in a different way. But like the play he got hurt, and I'm so happy he is healthy. There aren't many sane human beings who would be willing to just throw their body at 16, 17 miles per hour in the B gap to fill Javonte Williams. Because when I saw it live, every nickel has been there before. I've been in a position where I am the guy who my responsibility is B gap if it opens up. If it open up, hey, bite down on your mouthpiece and let's go to work. But you really be like, man, please this B gap don't open up. Please don't open up. B gap open up and boy put on his hat and lit him up. So he's one.
Didn't hesitate.
Yeah, he didn't hesitate, and he need to pick his head up next time so he don't get hurt. But for sure, I think Milano and Terrell Bernard are dogs as well. It may not manifest in a manner that is vocal like a Roquan Smith. You funny. May not manifest in that manner.
I'll tell you why he said that. We're gonna laugh together. Go ahead.
Okay, but because on the offensive side of the ball, they got a bunch of dudes who make it vocal. Whether that's a Dion, yeah. Have you brought this up? Whether it's a Dion, Spence be talking his ish, Alec Anderson be talking his ish. Obviously, Josh Allen, we are very grateful that they don't mic him up all the time because of the stuff that we have eyes can tell.
Yeah.
But defensively, I think the backers they meet the threshold. I would never call a football player soft. That is not in my vocabulary. But like they got enough pit bull in them to be like they're not going to back down from no fight. They just might be outmanned at times because they're a little smaller than others. Also, yes, I see in the chat, Taylor Rapp, he like a dog, but it's like the type of dog where you be like, hey, bro, stay on the leash because you might hurt you or somebody else. So like,
right.
Yeah,
right.
So Taylor Rapp is 100% one. He's just the dog. He's not allowed to be around other dogs. You know that dog who like a little vicious and you be like, hey, he can't come around. Like
you lock him up,
family around. Oh, we got family over your dog, and he in the room. He can't come out. That's kind of
it's Taylor Rapp.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I know we got the potential. You know what I mean? Dorian Williams gives me potential that he could be a dog. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which brings me to my next point. I'm mulling this over. And if I'm mulling it over and I'm trying to find every package there can be to match up with these Ravens, because these Ravens offensively are a matchup nightmare. They are. Lamar Jackson makes them a matchup nightmare, obviously alongside with Derrick Henry. Cole Bishop, where can we fit in Cole Bishop? Where can we fit in Dorian Williams and have Taron Johnson in there? Like, I'm trying to get everybody, like, I mean, shoot, let's give us CFL rules. Give us one more man on the field. You know what I mean? 12 on 12, let's roll, right? You can't. So you can't take Taron Johnson off the field. You can't.
Right.
So is there a way that we can fit in Dorian somewhere? Because I know he didn't have the greatest game, but when you put him next to Nicholas Moreau and Bailey Spector, bro, I'm sorry. Right. There's going to be some problems.
Yeah.
But Dorian, he stood out that game. He wanted it. How is McDermott going to figure that part out, man?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a fascinating thing. I will say, so for those at home who want to sound smarter for a second here, when the Ravens, their biggest personnel grouping that they run out there is 12 personnel, which is 1 running back, 2 tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
Most teams, and even when they play the Ravens, the Bills match that with nickel, 2 linebackers, 1 nickel, or 5 defensive backs, however you want to map that out. So when the Ravens pull out that personnel, I think they're going to match it with Taron. But when they go 13, 14, or 22, that's when you see a Dorian Williams come into the game, because at that point, Taron is a fantastic player, but I think physics take over at some point. Like last week, for those who watched the Ravens and Steelers game, there were a boatload of snaps where the Ravens ran 6 offensive linemen, so our version of Alec Anderson running onto the field, and then Patrick Ricard, their all-pro fullback, who also happens to be 300 pounds. So that is 7 300-pound men. Mind you, the Ravens got a 380-pound guard. So, like, we got a bunch of mass moving forward. I love Taron, but maybe not in that scenario. So I think that's where you're going to find out. That's where you're going to see Dorian Williams when they go to those bigger personnel. Because let's believe, they're going to test their gangster. Like, this is going to be a game where they're going to pull out the little diamond tester and they're going to put it on your chain and see if it's real or fake.
Yo, we going to find out.
And they're going to find out real quick. But that's what's awesome about football, because sure, it may have happened the last time, but who's to say what happened this time, right? So for those who are at home, like, oh my gosh, take Taron off the field. He's small. Ravens are big. It's not as simple as that, because the Ravens pass out of those personnels as well.
That's what I'm saying.
And Taron is a much better pass defender than Dorian. So It's complex, but basically, for those at home, if you see Mark Andrews and then likely on the field and no other big people, Taron will be out there. If you see more big white people like Patrick Ricard and Charlie Kolar and all them out there,
he go run the ball.
7 is coming out. 7 is coming out. 7 is coming out of the damn game.
Yo, you go see Coach on the sideline. Yo, get that. Get over here. Get off here. God.
Yeah. So if I had to imagine, let's say the Ravens run 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 50% of the game. Taron will probably play 55, 60% of the snaps. If I had to guess, I don't know their game plan though.
Right. So I feel like we're talking a lot about the challenge that the Bills will facing this offense. Where are the Bills going to find their advantage in this game? In what you have? I don't know how much film you've looked at, so it'd be unfair to you to say, hey, where do you think you're good? You know what I mean? But like, where are the Bills going to find their revenge? Where are they going to find their get back, their lick back? You know what I mean? Because I'm watching my man Cody Ben say, milk check. Yeah, but there's not a lot of milk on that Ravens defense. That's the problem.
No, there's no milk actually.
There's no milk. It's all chocolate up there, bro. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. But I'm looking at this offense. I'm looking at, all right, where can we take advantage? Now, at one point, the Ravens defense was one of the worst in the league. They've vastly improved.
Correct.
Vastly improved. They're a top 10 defense now, I believe, from what I was looking at earlier. Where is it that we can find an advantage? And I'm looking at James Cook. I'm looking at James Cook way. I'm looking at Alec Anderson being part of it, because as much as we want to talk about what they got over there, we got some beef on our squad too. Osiris Torrance is not a small man. You feel me? Dion Dog is not a small man. Spencer Brown is certainly not a small man. So we got beef on the line. Alec Anderson, not a small man. And I feel like we abandoned the run so early last game. While the game wasn't totally out of hand. Correct. But we did abandon the run soon. So I assume that based on what Coach said earlier, because I remember then somebody reminded me one of the reporters put it out there that Coach was like, nah, man, we could have stayed with the run a little longer because we abandoned it a little too soon. We could have stayed with it longer. So James Cook, man, I have become enamored with James Cook this season. He's done such a better job as a runner as opposed to the last 2 years. And you're supposed to grow, right? Man, James Cook has got up. He's the X factor for me in this, man. We need him to slip, dip, sneak, do whatever the heck he's got to do at a $189 up against his squad in order for us to at least remain balanced. Because I don't want Josh throwing 40, 45 times in this game. That serves to me as an issue, as a problem. So I say this to say that part we're going to get. But the real position I'm looking at is a receiver. I'm sorry. I don't seem to be getting enough from Amari Cooper. I just not. We're not getting our ROI on that. We're just not. I'm gonna keep it real. No, but we are, Rico, because he's a decoy. Yeah, we didn't bring him here to be a decoy. Right. We brought him here to win his one-on-one matchups because he's a specialized route runner. Now, has he lost a step? That's a whole other ballgame. But fam, I need more from him. I need more from Keon. I need more from Dalton. Like, this is where the receiver room is really going to have to step up for Josh. And I love what I was able to see against Denver. We got to keep it up. We got to keep it up against this Ravens defense because they're going to be opportunistic. They're going to try to get after it. And they feel as though Josh ain't ish. We got the MVP on our squad. Josh is cool. But we got you. We're going to hold you down. So I'm trying to find out, where do you see us taking advantage? I feel like I need to come from the receiver room, but do you see something different?
Man, there is one glaring hole on this Ravens roster that was a problem in the first matchup, but the Bills just weren't able to connect on it. And it's been an issue for them all year. I want to caveat it by saying the Ravens have had the best defense in football the past 2 months. One reason for that was taking their all-world Superman freak, nickel, safety, corner, whatever you want to call Kyle Hamilton, and making him Ed Reed. So instead of having him closer to the line of scrimmage, they just put him back in center field and say, hey, go be freak. They did that because their safeties were, being polite here, we're not good. They just weren't getting the job done. The issue, and I'm so happy Brandon said it, Brandon Stevens is gonna get the red dot treatment this game. CJ,
That's
what the
worst.
hell is the red dot treatment? Let me take you to the film room. When you in film and the coach got the red laser and he pointing at the screen, he go like this. That means he's circling it. That player, every single play. So for you at home, if you want a game, if you want to play a game on Sunday, you at home, maybe not at the bar, you with your boys or whatever, with family, and you want to play a game, red dot treatment, you get a laser. Go home, go to Walmart this week, get you a little laser, and every single snap, go find 21. Because he is a player that objectively just hasn't been good. He's been one of the worst corners in football this year. There's a reason why they went and got Trey White, Robin Brown. I'm happy we on the same page here. Because everywhere else, they really have really darn good players. We talked about Marlon Humphrey, who is now in the slot. So he's going to be across Khalil Shakir. And quite frankly, in that first matchup, he got the better of Khalil Shakir. On the other side, Nate Wiggins, I really like him, the rookie cornerback. May not be the most physical guy maybe in run defense, but he has good hips. He can run and jump. We know about Kyle Hamilton. The linebackers are Roquan is good. The other linebacker spot is good enough. Up front, they're great. But 21.
He's the problem.
Just circle it. Just circle it. And there's no sugarcoating that. Every team that plays them. I mean, the Steelers. I mean, look at last week. George Pickens going up on top against them. So, like, the Bills, if you want to go back and watch that first game, Keon Coleman had a lot of reps against him. If you remember that correctly. One who was out of bounds. Another.
Too big. Yep.
So, and they weren't all completions, but the Bills knew back then, too, 2-1 was the guy. So, maybe they put more Trey White out there because they know 2-1 isn't getting it done. But on either side of the ball, Brandon Stevens will be the player that is going to get the red dot treatment, and they're going to have to attack him in order to move the ball down the field, because this Ravens defense is objectively better than the Broncos. I know some people are going to point to the schedule. And it was crazy. It was funny. That stat was last year. I don't know what happened this year. That boy last year was balling. I don't know.
Nice.
He was balling. Listen, corner's so volatile. It's such a volatile position. But he hasn't played well this year at all. There's no sugarcoating that whatsoever. So,
because that's what it comes down to, right? If you're a coordinator and you're watching film, hey, y'all see this, right? Circle that and pause it, rewind it, just like we were kind of doing earlier today. I'm hoping that Joe Brady's finding ways, because I mean, when you looked at Joe Brady going up against the Lions, bro, we're gonna take advantage of these linebackers. They cannot cover us. This is where we're gonna expose them. And you saw it. Ty Johnson had a day. So we're gonna have to find out where the weak point is. Stevens is if they can't have Trey White's out there.
Correct.
I mean, I'm not gonna say nothing about Trey White, but I mean, shoot, if they're keeping Stevens out there, clearly he's the best option at this point. But if that's the weak point, we got to go after somebody. That's what it's got to be. We got to expose it somehow, some way. So hopefully we get it in. But I need that balance, and this is what I need from Brady, is to keep the balance. Please do not abandon the run. We got it. I'm hoping Ray Davis is back. Poor guy went for that catch, and Josh was sick to his stomach with that pass he threw that got Ray Davis knocked out. But I'm hoping that he clears protocol and he's back in. But if not, it's gonna be the Ty Johnson, James Cook show, and we'll see how that rolls out. Now, I want to get away from this for a little bit. We're gonna come back to talking Bills and Ravens. I got a question for you. All right, you're at the game. Have you been to a professional game yet, just as a fan, with your lady yet?
Nah, I haven't.
Yeah,
I have. I actually, before I was on the beat, the Bengals and Bills playoff game. Yeah.
Bet. So you in the stands and you chilling, and somebody's talking ish to your lady, and as her man, are you sitting here just, hey man, take it easy, bro, just be respectful, man, we'll just relax, and you go back to watching your game? Meanwhile, your girl's getting chastised and just beaking, someone's beaking it. Yo, how are you reacting to this? Because if you've been paying attention, an Eagles fan, was chirping at some lady, and dude was like, hey man, let me get my phone out. Hey dude, relax, bro. Settle down, man. Cut it out. Knock it off. All that jargon. And meanwhile, his girl's looking at him like, oh, I know he's such an idiot. And he sat there and didn't make a move and let this brand just talk in his girl's ear. Now, I'm not telling people to get violent, but as a man, and that's your woman, that's your lady, you at least switch spots with your lady.
Right.
At least you protect. You know what I mean? The old saying is when you're walking with your lady, you always take the outside of the road. You have her on the inside, just in case a crazy car comes in. Who gets taken out? The man does.
Correct.
You can't let your lady get chastised and you sit here, hey, dude, could you cut it out, man? Yeah, your girl's a see you next Tuesday, bro. He's giving it to her all day, and this man just said nothing. I bring this up because we're in a day and age where people are losing jobs these days. And this brother lost his job. They fired him because of that. Two things. How do you personally react? And I don't know if you're a hothead, if you seem like a chill cat. Are you just like, yo, man, chill out, man, switch your seats? Or are you physical? Or depending on how it goes, how do you deal with that? And how do you feel about people losing jobs over stuff like this?
I got too much to lose to be dealing with some idiots. Point blank, period. So if I was younger and I didn't have as much responsibility, my last name wasn't public, or I guess my last name was. I guess I did with my parents' last name when I was a dumb college kid. But regardless,
yep,
I'm a grown man. I got my dad and mom's last name. I want to do them right. So I'm going to diffuse the situation best as possible and probably be a rat, call security or something like that. I don't know. Security? I hope I'm not in those situations, those scenarios, especially not on a public venue like that. It's one thing if we on the street somewhere and something like that happened. You know what? I will say this though, and this is kind of something that I abide by in general. A stadium is one thing, but on the street, people be carrying. And I know in Canada it's a little different.
It's different.
It's different down here where I done been around some.
You're right though. You're not wrong.
And I didn't seen too much, been around too much, been all that. So
you're more like, yo, all right, dude, you got it, bro. You got it. You good.
Yeah, you feel me though? Because
I got you.
Yeah, you tougher right now, but you still a bozo.
Yeah. Facts.
Woo,
so and I'm glad you bring that up because it does play a part because at least here in Canada you can't just carry. You know what I mean? You can't there is none of that. And a lot of Canadians don't like that feeling. They do like this what they see out in the States because there's some things going crazy right now. People just robbing your stuff and you can't do nothing about it. To the point where police is even saying, bro, leave the keys at your front door because these cats are stealing your car anyway. So I'm telling you, avoid confrontation.
Hell no.
Just let them take your stuff.
Can you have a knife?
Huh?
Can you have a knife?
Bro, you can try. You know what I'm saying? But some of these cats coming in, they're carrying with them. So these guys are saying, yo, just let them take what they need to take. Go ahead and do your thing, right? And yo, Canadians were losing it. And I bring all this up because I personally do not like that people lose their jobs, their careers.
Oh, yeah.
Over this stuff. This man was boo and yelling in this girl's ear. He didn't get physical. He was just, getting at her.
Right.
Do I like it? No.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But social media, his name is blah, blah, blah. His job is this. They found everything out about this dude and away he goes. He got let go. So imagine this guy, he's probably got 4 or 5 kids, whatever. I'm assuming this, right? Things to pay. He's probably the breadwinner in his house, whatever. And now lost job. Now, was he a bozo? Absolutely. Lose your job? Relax. My man Pierre says, yo, karma hit his ass, though. Karma hit him. Nothing wrong with that. I don't like it. You should not lose your job. Suspension, maybe. You know what I mean? Yo, you're suspended for 3 days, man. You can't be doing that. That's the company name. And now cats are getting fired for this. I don't like it. Now, as a man, yo, move here, my lady. Come over here. I'll sit here. I can deal with this bozo over here. He can talk all he wants. You can ignore it. My man took out the cam. What's this gonna do for you? It just drives me nuts. That was just me. Just I had to get that rant off. I can't stand that type of stuff. That type of stuff I can't stand when people are yapping. Yo, you had a game, watch the game, go home, do your business. Right? That poor thing that happened last year or the year before, where son and father go to a game, they get into a tussle. Dad falls back, hits his head, passes away. You don't want to see stuff like that. You don't want the violence. Right. So ignore it. But all that just drives me nuts. Anyway, but I like what your thoughts process is. You don't know who's carrying. You don't know who's doing what. You're also, you know what I mean? You got to respect. You got kids. You got all this stuff at home. Yo, I'm not rooting for this cat. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. By the way, my man said that camera got dude. Yeah, that camera was the one that got dude fired. I guess it did something. I guess that camera was what got the job done. But anyway, I was never a fan of that. So anyways, let's get back to football time. All right.
Yeah.
We'll get back to Bills talk in a little bit. So I want to talk about the games that happened this weekend.
Yeah.
And we gonna start right off the bat. Vikings. Bro. Vikings. First of all, after that Rams-Bills game, when I saw how healthy those guys were, I was like, I even told Z about this. I was talking to Z, I was like, yo, that team is the most dangerous team in the NFC. I think I told you this, but I don't remember. I think that's going to be the most dangerous team in the NFC going forward because, yo, Stafford, when Stafford's dealing, he's dealing. And you got Puka, that boy, nice. He killed us. He absolutely destroyed us. And you got Cooper Kupp, and Cooper Kupp was rocking braids. It was over with. The minute I saw that brother with a single cornrow down the middle, I said, what? I said, okay, we done, right? And these boys put it on the Vikings. Bro, you got to be sick if you're the Vikings. 14-2 season or 14-3, and you get bounced out of the first round by the Rams that are not even at home. Please share me your thoughts. I need to know your thoughts on how you felt about that game.
Yeah, man, that's tough if you're a Vikings fan. Like a great year. You obviously started off like a little hopeless because of JJ McCarthy going down with a meniscus injury. You have no idea about Sam Darnold. Come to find out, Sam Darnold can ball a little bit. The offensive weapons around him elevated him, so they kept O'Connell, and then they just kind of ran out of that juice. I think some of that goes to Sean McVay and how well he put together a good game plan to attack Brian Flores. That's first and foremost. And then also the Rams kind of turned back into a pumpkin. Hey, that's funny. But I will say this, though. It is never as obvious as you think it is, and it is never as complex either. When I say that, I think the Vikings just got whooped in every single phase that involves football. I don't think they had a good enough plan offensively to get their guys open. There were too many plays where I thought Justin Jefferson had a glove, and that's not his doing because we know that he's a great player. Same thing with Jordan Addison, same thing with TJ Hawkinson. So I think that's on the guys getting him open. Some of that has to do with the offensive line. I know they are missing so many injuries. They're missing their all-pro, all-world left tackle. Ran out of that prune juice. That's crazy because prunes is disgusting. So if you run out of that, that's really foul. Then their right tackle got hurt, but he wasn't playing good either. Their interior has been bad all year. Sam Darnold was holding on to the football like it was $1 million. I don't know what was going on. It was a lot of bad ball. I do want to bring up this point, though, just an overarching theme.
Yep.
The NFC teams may have better rosters than the AFC, but the one difference is that conference doesn't have elite quarterback play. But when Matthew Stafford hits that supernova level, there isn't another player in that conference that can hit that level. And I think that's the biggest difference between a Sam Darnold, a Jalen Hurts, a Jared Goff, and then a Matthew Stafford. Because it's not guaranteed he hits that level. Because I don't think he's definitely not as consistent as a Josh, a Mahomes, a Lamar, a Burrow. But if he's on, he can go blow for blow with all of them boys.
Man, what a disappointment, man. And it wasn't like it was a barn burner. Watch out. Fam, my man said Sam Darnold was constipated all game. He didn't have nothing. He had no juice to him, man. 27-9. It was a beatdown. And like you said, it was all phases of the game. They got pushed around on the line. They double teamed, bro. And this is what I love about the NFL. The NFL is such a big copycat league. Shout out to Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn found a way to slow them boys down and really did it. And then here come the Rams. Oh, that's how y'all did it. Gotcha. Double team, push around. But I'll say this, though. Jared Verse, Neville Gallimore, Braden Fisk. Who else is that cat? Number 0. I can't remember.
Byron Young.
Bro, that's a nasty line. Got to give it to him. No wonder. I mean, I could see why we went blow for blow because that pressure was getting to Allen, but Allen was still cooking. And that's how good that brother is. But anyway, that's the Vikings game. Poor Vikings, man. That team, bro. That team. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, let's move on. Commanders-Buccaneers. Jaden Daniels Real deal.
Yeah.
The real effing deal. And I give it to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is a baller too, but bro, it was the Jaden Daniels show, man. 268, 2 TDs, and just got ice veins. You know what I mean? He's got ice in his veins, man. Talk to me. Buccaneers, Commanders, your thoughts on that game? And can we have a Cinderella team in the Commanders?
I don't know about Cinderella because I think they're severely outmatched outside of maybe quarterback and defensive line going forward. But Jaden Daniels is that boy. I'm not here to rank guys and say who's this or who's that. But he's one of those quarterbacks that all fans and coaches, you do this.
Oh, yeah.
And once you've reached that status,
It's
that's when you know he's a guy. I'm not going to say he's top 5, 6, 8, but he had a couple plays in that game where a rookie should have folded, and he elevated and went above and beyond than what his age would project. So I'm so excited for him and his future. This weekend will be a tall task, but I'm not here to rain on his parade by any means because he hasn't shown anything. Like, you think about what he did last month to the Philadelphia Eagles, who have had an elite defense for like since like week 5.
Yep.
Put up like 30 some odd points. So like that boy got something different in his blood.
Would you say Marshawn Lattimore got the last laugh?
Hell no. And like look, he my dog. He from Cleveland. Shout out to my dog Lattimore. He went to Glenville High School. But nah, dog.
Like, Evans was 7 for 92 and a TD. So nah.
No, respectfully, I'm just gonna take y'all into like the mind of a DB for a second here. We don't care about final scores. Who whooped me and receiver whooped you. Not saying we don't care about final scores.
He got beat down. Yeah, he got wrong.
But like, it's man, you on an island all game.
Catches 92 yards in a tutty.
Yeah,
nah, you lost.
You got to sit on that all off season too. After they lose this week to the Lions, that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you lost that one. Yeah, I mean, you lost that one. But I mean, that's been a rivalry for ages.
Man, they need to put it on HBO pay-per-view. Put them boys.
I'm telling you that's something else. All right, we got the Commanders, we got the Bucs. The Bucs, valiant effort. I thought making the playoffs was the right team. I think they were the right team to make the playoffs over the Atlanta Falcons. And yo, Jaden Daniels is that dude, man. He's that dude. All right, Texans-Chargers, bro. Texans-Chargers, bro. I did not expect. I'm put it this way. There's something about the Chargers that annoy me. and what annoys me more is that all the hype that's surrounded around Justin Herbert, but I don't see it. I see the physical, you know what I mean, his abilities. He can run, he can throw, but I don't see it. Right. Am I tripping? Because I don't think he's it. He don't have it. The it factor, bro, you can't. And I get it. The Texans are not to sit and scoff at. You're not. But I did not expect Texas to come out and whoop them like that.
So when you say it, is he like the top 4 it? Burrow, Lamar, Allen, Mahomes? No. I think we have enough evidence to suggest he's not in that.
Correct. I agree.
But I think there is a whole lot of landscape between elite Hall of Famer and Blair. And I think he falls in that category where I think he's at the top of that next tier, whether that's the Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford. And
I'll take Matthew Stafford over him all day.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. I also don't think that Justin Herbert has had Sean McVay next to him either. But I mean, Matthew Stafford, to his credit, was in Detroit with really bad teams for a while and was still balling. So I hear you.
I mean,
I will say this though about that game in general. The Texans have done that to quarterbacks all year long. Bills fans don't get amnesia. Josh Allen had the worst game since his rookie year. Like, let's not forget they picked off Jared Goff 5 times in a game. Like, let's not forget what they did to Aaron Rodgers. Like, so like,
Bills fans don't get amnesia.
Yeah, you feel like don't get amnesia, y'all boys, and just say Justin Herbert bad player. Josh Allen did the same damn thing. It just didn't turn the ball over. So I digress. Is he? I think we have enough evidence to suggest, hey, not close to Josh Allen, but I still think he's a good quarterback that you can win with.
And he just doesn't have the it where it's like, yo, put the ball in this man's hands and let him cook.
Yeah.
I don't see it. So kudos to my man. Obviously, CJ Stroud came through, handled his business, didn't have the greatest game, but he did enough to get the job done. So love it. By the way, yo, they loving you, bro. Carl spitting. He's
Hey,
spitting
man,
real good. Yo, facts for my man Carl.
You mentioned CJ Stroud. I just got to say OH to my dog. Any
doubt.
Notre Dame, hey, real quick sidebar. Any of y'all boys who rock with Notre Dame, I got smoke for every single last one of y'all. I don't rock with y'all. It's Ohio against the world. We don't like leprechauns. We don't like none of that.
I like it. Yo, could you be an
Monday
upset?
night.
Could you be an upset in the making?
Man, you want me to lead this chat? Thank you, Mitch. Mr. Red Lobster, Yasirski, OHIO.
He gets it. He
My
gets
Buckeyes, yeah. But
I
I digress. CJ didn't play amazing, but he made enough throws to stay out of the way and not be the reason they lost.
No doubt about it. All right, last but not least, obviously the Bills game we talked about. Packers-Eagles. Are the Eagles the real deal? Are they chip ready?
The Eagles are fascinating because, like, I think they're the one team in the league where you don't need to be an all 22 X's and O's guru to kind of like know what makes them click. They just have more talent than everybody else because you watch them play and they look sluggish at time offensively. They can't move the football. Jalen Hurts is taking bad sacks, boomer buzz, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, they just have like 19 all-pro caliber players and you don't. I think that's just their method.
They're stacked.
Like, for all the Bills fans, and I've been here the past month or so about, oh my gosh, how many all-pros the Ravens got compared to the Bills. The Eagles the same damn way. Like, so
they're stacked.
And the Eagles outmanned the Ravens in that regard. They didn't play excellent. Jalen Hurts didn't look like, prime Jalen Hurts like he did 2 years ago in the Super Bowl run, but they just have more players than you. And I think that's what makes them scary is that for 3 quarters, you might hold them down and they may not look great. But a couple drives a game where Dallas Goedert just throws a DB and says, excuse me, a couple jump balls to A.J. Brown, you feel me? Now, the defense is obviously phenomenal. I don't need to talk about them, but the dam is going to break at some point against the Eagles. And I think for whatever reason, they don't look clean, but do it matter when in the fourth quarter they up 7 and the dam is going to break and Saquon Barkley is going to break a 40-yard run?
All right. Listen, we're near the end because I'm not going to keep you long because we talking good ball. I got to go back to Bills Ravens here, and I might depending on your schedule, man. You might see me again this week because I'm tweaking a little bit. This game, I'm telling you right now because I'm not ready for the season to be over. That's my problem. That's my problem. You know what I mean? So, and I am like a lot of Bills fans, right? I feel like, and the crazy thing is, I would feel like it was an utter disappointment if we don't get it. But I also understand how we started the year with not a lot of expectations.
Correct.
So if we didn't do well, it would have been okay to others. But for those that know this team, nah, bro, we need to win it right now. So I bring you to this upcoming game. 3 things that you need to see based on what we've seen from the Bills from the beginning of the season to what they've been able to do, what you've been hearing from the Ravens, and it's all up to now. What do you need to see? What needs to happen for us to walk away with this dub?
Okay. I got 3 things for you I just cooked up. First off, the defense has to create a negative play, whether that's a takeaway, whether that is a interception, a forced fumble or an interception, or get Lamar Jackson behind the sticks with the sack, because I do think he's gettable in that regard. And he'll try to extend the play and he'll take a 7 or 8 yard sack. I think that is one way that the Steelers have gotten him in the past, is where they create enough of those negative plays that it's hard to overcome. So I think that's first and foremost. Secondly, I see you, Raven for life, 716. That's crazy. That's a Buffalo area code. But I think secondly, they're going to need to get off of blocks, because on paper, sure, you're supposed to be in this gap, and I'm right here. Unfortunately, against this team, gaps move and all that stuff. You need to just whoop the man across from you. So I think that's secondly. And lastly, which isn't talked about or hasn't been talked about, and I know the game was just announced on Sunday. Having said that, though, they need a much better protection plan around Josh Allen. Do you know the first time that they met, Josh Allen was pressured on 44% of his dropbacks? That is the 3rd highest rate since his rookie year. Now, obviously, the other game was the Texans game the next week. Everyone's talking about Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard and Taron Johnson coming back. I'm right with you. Those guys are going to play a massive role. But on the other side of the ball, Josh Allen was running for his life. He was sacked 3 times. I believe, out of his 34 dropbacks, only 8 were considered successful. Appreciate you, Edge. 44 block. Having said all that, though, they have to do better in that regard. Kyle Van Noy won a couple of matchups against Spencer Brown, who's been fantastic this year. Osiris Torrance gave us some stuff. So did Connor McGovern. If they don't fix that, bump all the other stuff we've been talking about, because Josh Allen can't run for his life and then win a game in the postseason.
That is a great point, because and that's what it's being made about. This guy was missing and that guy was missing and that.
The O-line was healthy. The O-line was healthy.
What the Ravens are saying is that's cool, but you still didn't score.
Correct.
We had you. We put it on you guys. So it's cool. You defending, then you didn't have all the defense. But where was Josh? And this is where a guy like Amari Cooper comes in. This is where a more seasoned Keon Coleman comes in. I mean, we was a rookie raw. Correct. I mean, getting time. So a little more seasoned Keon Coleman. Dalton Kincaid, a healthier Dalton Kincaid, a healthier Khalil Shakir. So, I mean, I think Khalil was a little banged up that game. So
he got hurt in the game, yes.
He got hurt in the game, right? So it was such a different game 10 weeks, 12 weeks ago that, like, fam, like, you're facing a different team. So
both teams are playing.
Both teams. So, like, this is such a game where you're like, bro, like you said, nobody can make mistakes. You have a quarterback in Josh Allen that won't make mistakes, hasn't make mistakes.
Correct.
And you have Lamar that's damn near don't make mistakes. 4 interceptions, but he's got way turnovers. He's got more turnovers than Josh Allen does. So opportunities are there. We just got to create them. And you're absolutely freaking right about that, is we got to take the ball away. I think you the second point, was your third point, or you got it already?
No, the first point, they got to create some negative plays on defense. They have to get off of blocks. And then lastly, protection plan, whatever it was, whether guys were getting whooped or being in the right spot, it has to be better, because that was the second worst since Josh Allen's rookie season. Like,
and I'm gonna push back a little bit, because if he ain't getting pressured, if y'all getting open,
correct,
get open.
Correct.
And this is why I'm on, and people want to get on me. Nah, you want him to force feed the ball? I don't want him to force feed the ball, but I also want to see something. Why did you bring this guy here then? If you're just gonna sit here and we're just gonna go to whoever's open, that's cool. But when push comes to shove, when I need to play, bro, like, you gotta give me something. Kincaid, Cooper, like, I'm all for everybody getting the football. I don't care if it's Mac Hollins is gonna have 12 receptions, so freaking be it. But fam, you can't have Josh running for his life and y'all ain't getting open. If Stevenson is my red dot, go after Stevenson and eat him up, man. Get on him. Eat that space up between you and the receiver. But something's got to give. Something's got to give. I can't wait for this game. It's making me dislike Baltimore but I love Lamar too much for me to dislike Baltimore. That dude's just a class act. He's a class act off the field and he's on the field. He ain't gonna talk ish. He's just gonna do his thing. That boy Nat's like that. That's why I love both these players. But somebody's got to go. Somebody's got to go. And right now, the track record right now is on the Bills, because the Bills own that track record as of recently against the Ravens when we took them down. And the last matchup we had against the Ravens before this one, the Bills won that one. So we kind of know how to bottle up / slow down Lamar. But when Derrick Henry's in that shit, golly, man, that's a headache.
Man, listen, this was a game that I wish I wasn't a media member and I wish I was a fan, because
oh my gosh,
these are the games that football fans love.
All right, so here's another thing. What are the media members saying? And what are they saying? What are y'all saying, man?
This is not even a cop out. Media don't start until Wednesday. So I haven't met up with nobody. Like I haven't seen nobody. In terms of this week, we've talked about last week, in terms of how well they played and how demoralizing they made the Broncos look. But I am not kidding you, because the press conference is gonna start until Wednesday. I don't kick it with these dudes on the regular. So, like,
I got you.
Yeah. So
I hear you. All right.
If you bring me back later in the week, I'll let you know.
No doubt. I'm gonna hit you up. I need them nuggets. All right, here we go. The team is completely healthy. Anybody kind of Codrington comes back, which I think is gonna be huge. I hope he comes back, right? But I kind of liked Khalil Shakir back there. I ain't gonna front. I kind of like him back there. But anyway, don't cop out. I'm about to ask you. You don't cop out. Who's your MVP?
Oh, MVP. That's crazy. Oh, damn.
You didn't
I
see
thought
that
I
one
was about
coming.
to. I thought I was about to get through a whole. I thought he was about to ask me a win prediction, and I had an answer for that.
Nah. These are two tough ones. Who's your MVP?
MVP.
And you can plead the fifth if you want to.
I personally struggle with that for the past month. I ended up landing on Josh Allen, but it was like I have no conviction behind it. Both played
You're pressured by the
fantastic.
hometown Buffalo Bills.
No. I leaned with the fact that if you want, because I hate using narratives with MVP and saying all pro this and all pro that, and they had this and the expectations coming into the season. I hate that for me personally.
Right.
But what I felt is if in the biggest moments this season, and not saying Lamar hasn't done it because he has all year long, but in the biggest moments this season, I think of the Lions and the Chiefs, 17 put his team in a situation where I don't know how many quarterbacks could do that. That was my argument I stuck with, and yeah, I'm sorry everybody if y'all wanted something more convincing. I'm glad I'm not a voter.
I had another question for you, but I'm gonna keep it at that. I'm gonna whip.
If you asking me who I think gonna win,
I'm
watch.
not gonna do that to you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say y'all. I got some. Y'all can watch. Y'all can go my.
No, I'm not gonna do that to you. That's not cool. But I'm gonna put it this way.
Yeah.
I need defensively your spotlight hero that will be the guy that makes the difference in this game, and your spotlight hero that you cannot name 17. 17 is not the guy. But your spotlight hero on the offensive side of the ball.
I'm starting on offense. It'll be Amari Cooper. If you think about the Chiefs game, where now the Chiefs did I don't know if you've seen the report. Their cornerback opposite Trent McDuffie is back now, but the guy when he was out, their Najee Johnson, number 13, got the red light treatment. Remember the two big plays that Amari Cooper made against him?
Yep. I
expect that to be the same case against Brandon Stevens this week. Red light treatment. On the other side of the ball, you know what? I think this is when Greg Rousseau tells the world that he is on that tier.
Man, I love that dude. And I agree. I love both those players that you just named. I love both those players. I got to say this, man. There's one player that I absolutely need him to step up. Need him. And I feel like you know who I'm referring to because I've talked about this player before where I need him to be a difference maker.
Dalton Kincaid?
No, sir, on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh,
need
Vaughn.
Him to huh?
Vaughn or Ed?
Who do you think I'm thinking about?
Ed Oliver.
Yeah. I need Ed. Edward? Bro, you're in the middle. You're in the middle of that defense.
Yeah.
It starts with you. If you get bullied and pushed around, bro, it's a wrap. Yeah. Derrick Henry's going to have a field day. I can't have that. So I love that you brought in Greg Rousseau because I love Greg Rousseau, man. That boy quietly does his job, and he does a damn good job. He may not give you 15, 18 sacks, but, bro, he's going to give it to you 100%. 100%, he was going to give you all he's got. But Edward Oliver, golly, I need him to have such a game. I need to hear, man, Ed Oliver's just killing it. I need to hear him like we hear Braden Fisk's name. I need to hear him like we hear Jared Verse or how we hear Chris Jones's name. Golly, your first-round draft pick. Yeah. And you got an extension. I need to hear your name. You may not get the sack, but you are all over the place, and they can't handle you, right? You're getting Lamar off the mark. Like, I need that. Anyways, I'm getting all too fired up right now. I got to chill out. My blood pressure, I'm feeling my shit's all messed up. Anyway, that's our time. Ladies and gentlemen, always a pleasure to have my guy Carl Jones in the building. And when you meet on Wednesday, bro, I need some nuggets, bro. I need to see what the vibe is. Are people tense in the room, in the office? Are they kind of walking around like, yo, don't talk to me, bro? This Ravens week. I want to know. I don't want to hear everybody's relaxing, playing ping pong. I hope I don't hear that. I hope everybody's dialed in, zeroed in, because these Ravens are coming to knock the block off. They've already beaten us badly the first time. They're going to prove that they can do it again. Promise you that. That's the Baltimore mentality they're bringing over here. So they're coming at home, bro, we better knock them sock. That's my time, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have not followed my man Carl Jones, follow him. Don't do yourself a favor. My man is creeping up. He's got 3,000 he's got 3,000 followers. That's it. Shame. He should be in the double digits. Help my man get to double digits. If you're a Ravens fan, follow my man Carl Jones. I know y'all are in here. Ravens for Life 716. We see you, bro. We see you, brother. We see you, man. Anyway, it's going to be a hell of a game. We'll be back at it again on Friday. I might hit up my man, Carl Jones, on Wednesday. He might say, yo, I got the scoop for you. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But, Carl, let them know what you're working on. If there any film studies coming, is there any articles coming your way? What are we working on here?
Yeah, I'm going to sit down with Khalil Shakir on Thursday. I'm going to our 5-question segment, which is always kind of lighthearted. You get to know Khalil Shakir, the man, take off the helmet a little bit. And then also we'll ask him some football-related questions. So I know you guys will eat that up. And then also, like I mentioned during the stream, I will be kind of diving into how the Ravens play defensively, because I think that's kind of the underrated part of this. Everyone's talking about the added additions of the middle core of the Bills defense make a huge difference. But I do think an underrated part of that game that no one talks about is that Josh Allen was running for his life. I'm going to look back and see why that was the case. So follow me on Jones11 _ at X, and I'll be pushing out that content until game day.
I love to hear it. I got one more thing. I'm going to show you a picture, and you're just going to give me one word. All right, we're going to just play one word association, and you're out of here. All right, yeah. And let me just find it real quick, and I'm gonna let you get after it.
If it's me chasing Lamar Jackson, I'm not about to answer.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be you, bro. I need you to what comes to mind when. Let me just make sure I got this zoomed in properly. What comes to mind when you see this picture here? And you can give me one word, you can give me 2 words, whatever comes to mind. What comes to your mind when you see this picture right here?
We back.
Hey, and ladies and gentlemen, that's all I need to hear from man Carl Jones. Carl Jones, you have yourself a great evening. We'll catch up to you soon, and go Bills, baby.
Hey, y'all stay safe, man. Stay warm too. Have a good one.
All right, peace. You see how my man didn't want to say go Bills? I said go Bills. He goes, he won't do it. That's why I like my man Carl. Carl is my dude, man. But look, if you guys have not followed Carl, dude, do me a favor, go follow Carl. Good dude, friend of the show. We've been chatting for about a year and change now. Awesome cat, man. We'll love to have him back on the show every time. So I'm hoping that we continue to get these dubs, continue to put these things on. I'm gonna be real, man. This Ravens game, I don't hate the Ravens. I don't, but I hate them today, and I hate them this week. I'm a real. I mean, I don't have a problem with Derrick Henry. I love Derrick Henry. I don't got a problem, you know what I'm saying, with Lamar Jackson. I'm a big fan of Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar Jackson. If it weren't from the Bills drafting Josh Allen, he was going to be the guy that I wanted on the Bills as their quarterback. I like I like Lamar Jackson, but I hate him this week. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't like them. I don't like their fans. I mean, my man Ing Ravens, I don't like you either, bro. This week. This week. But yo, I need this win, bro. I need this win. Like the way they treated us when we went to Baltimore, and they feeling some type of way. Yo, we whooped y'all when y'all were this and that and third. Bro, we're such a different team. We can't let that age happen again. So I'm gonna just put it that way. We need this. We need this. Yo, Josh, Cooper, Ed Oliver, Greg Rousseau, Von Miller, bro, everybody, yo, McDermott, Taylor Rapp, Cole Bishop, you know what I'm saying? Christian Benford. Yo, we need this. I need the dogs to show out. I need the dogs to show out, man. If you got a chain, that big dog collar chain, pull it out. Let them know who the dogs are on the squad, man. Because we know who the dogs are on that squad. We know. They got 9 freaking Pro Bowler, All Pro, whatever you want to call it. We sitting here with just Josh. So if you had a chip on your shoulder, golly, get after it. Get after it, man. Whew. It's going to be a cold one on Sunday. It's going to be a cold one. 7 degrees? Golly. It's going to be a cold one. Now, 7 degrees, you guys go Fahrenheit or you guys go by Celsius? I go by Celsius like normal people. So if you're saying 7 degrees, I don't know what 7 degrees, you mean go 7 degrees Fahrenheit. How cold is that? Let me see. I'm gonna see how cold that is because I'm a Celsius guy. That's how I do it. You know what I mean? So 7 degrees Celsius, that is 44. So hold on. Oh, no, I got to reverse that. Minus 13. All right, that's not bad. 7 degrees, minus 13. We've had colder days. I don't like how you guys go by Fahrenheit. I think it's so weird. Let's go by Celsius. Go by Celsius and kilometers like the rest of the world. Kilometers. You know what I mean? So minus 14 is not bad. I'll say minus 14 is cool. We can rock with that. The wind chill might make it a little colder, but that's all right. But you guys that go by miles. I don't know, 30 a mile down the block. Can't stand that. Yo, how many kilometers, bro? how many kilometers? I talked to my brother-in-law, and he'll be like, "Yeah, man, my car's got like 200 miles." It's like, "Oh, that's not bad. 200 miles." I'm like, "Wait a minute, 200 miles? Yeah, that's a lot, right?" Anyways, I digress. Minus 14 is crazy. It is cold. Minus 14 is pretty cold, but I'm used to it over here in Canada. Over here, right? Like we up north, so we got it. Minus 14 is like, all right, it's cold. It's a cold one. It's brick. All right, dress warm. You be all right. But hopefully, this cold, these Baltimore Cats ain't used to it. Hopefully, and this is where Buffalo can come in and take full advantage. The Winter Soldier, aka Josh Allen, comes in and shows y'all what time it is, man. But we'll see. So that's it for me, folks. If you guys enjoyed this show, do me a favor, smash that like. If you have not liked this channel, if you have not subscribed to the channel, what are y'all waiting for? All right, we got how many people? We got 1,700 people watching total. I got some on Twitter watching. I got some on Facebook watching. I got some on YouTube watching. For those that are on YouTube, we got 350 in you guys. Yo, before you leave this room, smash that like, hit that like, leave a comment, and we'll go from there, man. And before we get out of here, I'm not going to disrespect y'all. There were some super chats that were in there, so I got to get into it. Ravi says, yo, Baltimore is a first half team. If we keep it close early, we can get to them in the second half where Buffalo makes adjustments. It gets better. That's all we have to do. Keep it close, but be aggressive. Keep it close, be aggressive. Then we got this, man. GQ Bob. What up, GQ? You think I was going to forget your super chat? Can't do that. My man GQ Bob says, yo, we have to bring physicality to the Ravens and dictate the terms. We have to be the bully. We do. But the problem is sometimes I used to play ball back in the day, and there were guys that were overly excited. And when they were overly excited, they gassed out so quick. And by the second quarter, they're gassed and they got nothing left. Pace yourself. That's where the professionalism comes in. All the hard work you've put in, but you still got to be a dog. I still need you to be a dog. But you're right. We have to bring the physicality. So this is where we got to find out, where will Dorian Williams be inserted? Do you insert him on certain packages? Do you go with a 4-3 at one point, switch it up a little bit? Do you wait for red zone to do that? Like, you got to figure out a way to get him in the line. You got to figure it out. I don't know how, but we got to figure it out some way, somehow. Richie Fresh. What up, Rich? Yo, do the Ravens have the better D, though? That week 13 to 18 stat is misleading. One was their bye week. Most of the other opponents were trash. Only good team was Eagles and Ravens lost. So they lost. So I can't even read. Good team that was the Eagles and Ravens lost. So has their D gotten better? Or has their defense gotten better? They got healthier. That's the big thing. They've gotten healthier. Guys that were out or kind of nursing some injuries, they've returned. Guys are, you know what I mean, they're seasoned. You got more games under your belt. So that makes a difference. That makes a huge difference. So we're going to find out, did their defense get better? Well, we're going to find out if our offense is truly that much better. Are we fraudulent? I don't think the Bills' offense is fraudulent. I think we can move the ball well. Keys to the victory of this game is going to start with Joe Brady. Joe Brady has to do it. He has to come in and handle business. He's got to know and feel what this defense is doing. Feel if he can decipher and figure out what these Ravens are trying to do and what they're anticipate what they're going to do, but we're all over it. This is a big chess match. We could talk about all, like Carl said, coaching matters. We could talk about all the things that are possible in this game, but when it really comes down to it, it's about coaching. It's about putting your players in the right position. And if you got your players in the right position, boy, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. So let's handle business, man. Golly, I can't wait. Folks, enjoy your evening. I got to get going. I got work in the morning. I got to work 2 hours away, so I'm going to drive to my in-laws. I got to drive an hour and a bit, and then go from there. So I got some I got some driving to do. So I hope you guys have a fantastic evening, and we will catch you guys on the flip. Let me get my outro music going, and we'll go from there. So y'all have a good music in the background, and we'll see you back again on Friday. I'll be on Bleacher Report on Friday, talk about keys to victory in this game, and then I'll be on with my man Zebot on Friday, unless he's going to the game. If not, we'll see you guys Friday anyway. You guys have a good evening. We'll catch you guys on Puerto Rico. That's what I like. Catch you guys.